I started to play, guitar just at the campfire, to impress girls when I was 11. And then I got more serious with that and studied classical guitar. And my teacher gave me a book called Music from Shakespeare's Time, which were lute pieces transposed to guitar. And so I was, at a young age, I got acquainted with lute repertoire. And I didn't really use that until like much later, after I got bored with playing guitar and remembered this book and that repertoire. And then I decided when I moved to New York later to study the instrument, and it became sort of an obsession for me. The lute in Europe, it's like in every country is sort of a different style. There's an English style, Italian style, French style, lowlands style, even Polish style. So I would say the Americans are pretty interested in the classical lute. And also they're opening up to avant-garde, let's say, new compositions for lute, which I think is really important. Regarding like underground stuff or underground movies, for example, there's not much in the States anymore, It's like all disappearing, and there's only a few big cities that will, show avant-garde. So yeah, there's less and less of that, which is a shame, I think. Tonight I will play a black lute that was given to me by my friend Miguel Segura, and he lives in Paris, and he made this lute for me, and he didn't want me to pay him. He said, "You've done so much for the lute that I want you to have this lute," and I'm very grateful. So this is my second black Baroque lute. The first one was a gift from my parents, and this one was a gift from a friend, so I don't have to buy lutes anymore. But yeah, I have Renaissance lutes, Baroque lutes, and the thing is, the difference between those are that Renaissance is more happy tuning, and the Baroque lute is D minor tuning, sort of like Bach used to write. So it's in of itself already sort of a sad tuning, a sad instrument. So I sort of wrote for that for a long time. Now I'm going back to Renaissance lute to write a little bit more positive or maybe happier pieces too. The Renaissance lute is smaller, and I like the Baroque lute because it's a really physical thing. It's quite big, and it also has a lot of strings and a lot of bass. The basses sound really deep because of the structure of the instrument, which I really like. I'm not very fond of a lot of notes, and I like repetition of a few chords over a long time. I think that's more of a listening experience to the listener. It's more of a you can get more into a trance or maybe hypnotized if it goes right. And that's more important to me, and that's sort of the beginning of the composition process. To me, I have to be very concentrated to be able to compose. I write it in tablature, French tablature, which is the old notation, not normal staff notation. They write down where you put your fingers, where you put your hands, and that's sort of the way of writing for lute. It's also a bit of channeling of melodies that are around. So I just sort of open myself for melodies. And that's sort of the thing I like to do, like find a great melody that everybody remembers, But that's just a few notes. And that's the hardest thing, and I'm always very happy if that happens, if I can find something, that sounds easy but is very difficult, I think improvisation is for kids, Improvisation was functional 30 years, 40 years ago. Free jazz, that was when it came out, that was, a moment. I don't see any reason to do that again, to sort of repeat that, because that's not so interesting. Because it's also like you can improvise and do it every time, and it just doesn't add. I like more when I play the same pieces in a different room every day. That to me is improvisation, because the room will sort of define the difference, the acoustics of the room. And so it's more about architecture that way. In music, improvisation, yes. I mean, you can ask my niece and she'll improvise, you know, and I don't think that would be much less, you know, than I would do it or somebody else, you know. I don't think it's functional improvisation at the moment. I'm writing for a new film that's going to be shot pretty soon. It's a modern western, and then I'm making my own, directing my own film that I want to do next year, sort of based on a historical character. But I hope I get time for it because people keep asking me to come play everywhere, so, which is great too, and I love to do that. Tonight I will, well, lately I've been singing more, so I'll sing 4 songs also tonight, and there's one new piece that will probably end up in one of those films. And some new acoustic pieces. I'm also playing on a brand new lute that I got from my friends, so yeah, it's quite tricky.